The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And good evening, everyone. This is Jerry with The Calling, along with Willow Le Machant. And we have no Kimberly tonight. Kimberly's not feeling well, so she won't be with us. So there.
Well, it is Cinco de Mayo after all.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Little Miss Juarez is putting on her tequila.
That might be it.
That could be it. Yeah. All right. That's it. All right. And that's, and our guest tonight, Candy Dunham or CJ, which one do you prefer to be called?
Either way, either one. I go by anything. Candle, CJ, Candy, whichever one.
Okay. I didn't even think about it being Cinco de Mayo. And I thought, she's probably got plans. She's going to go out and party like crazy.
No. I'm not a partier.
She's an animal, but not a party animal.
Yeah, that's right.
Willow, did you have any big plans for tonight that you had to cancel?
Well, I had a date with my garden again, but Jerry, I told it I couldn't be out there, even though the sun came out. I said, no, Jerry said I had to be on the show. Sorry, guys, you'll just have to pollinate and stuff without me and just keep growing.
All right. That's a little weird. Okay. I'll leave that be. Anyway, so, so this is cool. What do you want to talk about? No, I'm just kidding. So your show is awesome. It's on every Monday and Friday, right?
Yes, it is at midnight Eastern and 11 p.m. Central. And I've been on, I can't believe it's been now over 6 months. I mean, it's still really new. And, I'm still very new at this and very much learning every single time that I do another show. But I mean, I love it so much. I've met so many awesome people and, really got a lot of new, I feel like, family because of the show. I mean, it's just opened me up to a whole world that I've always loved, but I haven't met a lot of people that love it as much as I do. So this has been a wonderful opportunity to do that for sure.
Right. It's true. It is. It's a lot like family,
It
and,
is.
But just to let you know in advance.
Okay.
Don't borrow the Geeks Girls $5. You'll never see it again.
Really?
No, I'm
Okay.
kidding.
Oh.
They're not on, so I guess I should have waited till later.
Stealing Cat has an important announcement.
Oh.
There's she says, what's the important announcement, Miss CC? Oh, she must be she's typing, so it's going to be a long one, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're in trouble, Jerry.
I haven't said nothing yet. I mean, that was last week. I got fined 24 cookies. There it is. On this day, May 5th, Jerry Ayers has paid cookie fine in full and is no longer being sought by the cookie police. All right. Yep. 24 cookies that it actually was good for the St. Jude Children's Hospital.
Aww.
And so, I thought I'd be one of those nice guys and send it to Cece to pay off my my cookie debt, my fine.
Well, you just have to watch what you say, Jerry.
Well, I didn't say anything wrong, I mean, it's the way that I was taught, Well, we went over this with CJ beforehand and stuff, so I don't want her to get fined. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now I'm going to be hyper aware and I'm going to be nervous, so I've got to really watch what I say because I definitely don't want to get fined. Although they would love my cookies.
And CC is also saying, too, that I promise to pronounce planets and Roman gods correctly from now on. No, I never said that. I was taught a certain way to say a certain planet, just like we were talking about with CJ, and that's the way she was brought up. Matter of fact, she said there's a little town that's called that also, and they
in
are
Missouri.
proud of it.
Yeah, in Missouri. It's right out, and they shout it from the rooftops. Welcome to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Enter blah, blah, blah. Exit blah, blah, blah.
They have a fudge factory, according to
they
CJ.
do. They actually do. And the fudge is phenomenal. It really is. It's so good.
Okie dokie.
You thought my garden was bad. Hey.
I could go further on that one too, but I would get fined again. So I'm not going to. Okay. So now I noticed one of the things about you, CJ, is that you are a doll lover.
Yes.
You see haunted dolls?
Well, originally it was for a Halloween display. And that's what it was for. Seriously. Like, I was not in the market for dolls. Of course, I always loved dolls, but it was to really scare my husband. I mean, that's what I had intended to have my doll collection for, because he is horrified of dolls. Like, he's the skeptic. Okay. I'm the crazy kooky one that finds all this crazy stuff, and he's just like, goes along with it. But one thing he doesn't like is dolls. So the first doll I got was really just kind of a joke. And I realized that it kind of just creeped him out. Like, he would turn it away from him whenever he didn't want it to look in his direction or whatever. So, well, of course, if that's going to scare him, I've got to get a whole table full of dolls, So that's where it started. And then it just developed that I started getting dolls that had activity, and that were active and made noises when they were just sitting there, and that's kind of how it all started, really. Make a long story short.
We had, with dolls, that's one thing I can't handle, dolls and clowns.
Oh, gosh. See, I love clowns.
Oh, my God.
I love anything that's going to terrify my children. That's the kind of parent I am. I'm horrible. I'm ruthless. I mean, if it's going to scare my kids, like in my pantry, I used to have my scary clown. Like, I was like, okay, they're sneaking in the pantry. I'm going to put this clown in here, and they're going to open it and be like, oh, and they're going to not come in here. Well, they got used to the clowns. That didn't work anymore. But yeah, I have clowns. I have dolls. I have a lot of things from the state of Marie Laveau's granddaughter. I mean, my husband ended up getting me a bear that supposedly has an attachment, and it does have a little music box in it. I've never got any weird vibes off of that, but I mean, I collect some pretty crazy stuff. Yeah. Dolls just being probably the most innocent part of that collection.
Wow. No, dolls, I tell you, Sherry in the chat room is saying, CJ, send Jerry a haunted doll. No. Dolls and clowns. Clowns, I was 5 or 7 years old. I don't even remember. First time we ever went to the circus, they had a Ringling's Brothers Circus up in Bemidji, Minnesota, where I'm from. And I got separated. I was with a bunch of kids, and we were all running. And the show was about to start. And I looked up and seen where Mom and Dad, my brother Jimmy, were sitting. And Dad was looking around for me. I can tell, the dad look when they're trying to find, where the heck are you?
Oh, yeah. Where the heck are you?
And all of a sudden, this clown grabs me and brings me into the ring. And Dad seen him grab me and that I was that scared. Dad came over, one punch to the face. He went down, blood was shooting out of his nose, and he's still smiling and staring at me.
Oh my!
And that did it. I didn't ever want to go.
PTSD from then on.
Oh yeah, it was horrifying. And it's like, no, clowns, no, forget about it. That ain't happening. But dolls, we had a doll case that we picked up the doll. Well, actually, we sent the doll to a couple people in North Carolina, I think they live, a mother-daughter team, and they were going to do some tests on it and stuff. Mm-hmm. They got it. They put it in the doll room up with a whole bunch of other dolls, mm-hmm. and they were county sheriffs. And in the middle of the night, all of a sudden the doll room, the door was just smashing into everything. Guns drawn, they went in. The doll that we sent them was still sitting up. All the rest of them were across the room on the other side.
Oh, yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's very creepy. So they took that doll and they burned it and they salted it and they buried it in a graveyard so that its soul can never come back. And it's just crazy, man. I mean, you guys are nuts with these dolls. You know, they're just stupid.
I have a bunch. They're all standing behind me. They're my cheering squad behind me.
Yeah,
I just love them. I guess I don't know. I just never grew out of living. I mean, once I started getting the collection, it's like, okay, I need to slack off. You know, where are we going to put all the dolls? Like, I have a box of them still in the attic that I only use for Halloween, you know.
Oh. But
then I have some, you know, that I have out all the time with my haunted collection. Like, I can't put those away because, you know, like a couple weeks ago, I did an investigation on one of the dolls. We call her Morgan. And it's kind of a long story, but I love to go to estate sales and find new things that, you know, I touch and I can get something off of that I feel like maybe there's something going on with it. Well, I had my daughter with me and we went in and immediately she went right to this room and there was this big doll. I mean, it's huge. And I have it on my Facebook page if anybody wants to see it. And we got the doll, we got home and I was telling my husband and he's like, oh gosh, more dolls, you know, oh. But they had a Shirley Temple doll too. And I was like, she's so cute. I've always wanted a Shirley Temple doll because I love that. So I got those two dolls for the girls and I came home and there was a little note or like a card around the doll's neck and we started looking. And, you know, my husband did not know half of his family from his dad's side. He did not know them growing up. But he's like, oh my gosh. He said, look at this. And I looked and I was like, what? He goes, do you recognize this name? And I said, no. And it was his grandmother's. He had never met his entire life. I had no clue. But my daughter was not leaving there without that doll. So I knew this doll was very, very special. And I mean, I'm so glad that I got it. I mean, we went back and we ended up, my mom and I, we bought every doll they had because they were from my husband's grandmother's collection. She had a doll shop where we live. Oh. And so we just bought every single doll she had, you know, because they didn't know her. And it's kind of a way, I mean, it's crazy. Well, I mean, what a synchronicity to be able to find that and have for them. And I had no idea. He had no idea. We just came home and there's a little card with the doll, you know, around her neck. So, I mean, it was very special, very special. And I did an investigation on her. She is very active, but I feel like it's a protective type vibe. It's nothing scary and it's never scared her. So she has been hurt. She loves to keep her in her room. And
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Was your daughter born after your husband's grandmother passed away?
I'm really not sure when she passed away. I mean, I don't know a lot of his family's history on that side. I'm really not sure. I don't know. I need to know. I need to check into that.
I think I picked up a message saying because your daughter could be her reincarnated. And that's why she was so attracted to that doll. It was her.
Oh, really? Wow. That's amazing. Well, I'm telling you, she wasn't leaving that place without that doll. And
Yeah.
I mean, it just so I usually didn't. This was when, I mean, it was a couple years ago. She's real tiny, anyways. I call her my short stack. She's real little, and she was just getting it. I mean, it was like she knew exactly where she was going in this house. We've never been to this house. I mean, and this wasn't even his grandmother's house. This was someone who had bought the collection from her and had been buying dolls from her for years. So she also had these German dolls, and she also had dolls she made. This doll is one that she actually made. So I mean, it's
Wow.
very special. It's
Yeah.
priceless to us, but it's just amazing. It's one of my favorite things. But I did the other night, because I've been trying to stay up and do this 3:00 thing and just see if there's anything about the witching hour for the show, and I wanted to see if there was any activity, because I'm having a major problem with security cameras in the house, just crazy stuff. And that was one of the things. I set Morgan up, and you can see she's setting off all of the alarms. The K2 was going crazy. But I never really got anything until I set the hour camera down, and I was going through the footage, and the camera was moved. And I was not anywhere close to the camera. So who knows?
Yeah, interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
Wow. Well, so Willow, you feel that that there is definitely a connection.
Yeah,
there, huh?
there's a reincarnation connection.
Wow.
Wow.
That's how she knew. Now, I don't know if the person that bought the collection was friends with her, so maybe she had been to that house, but she knew exactly. But I'm feeling like she was seeing through the eyes of someone else. Like she knew where she needed to be, and she knew which was her favorite doll.
Oh yeah. I mean, immediately she was just like drawn to that doll, like completely. I mean, and she's a beautiful doll. I mean, she really is. And she definitely stood out because she was the largest doll. But I mean, when you walked in, she was just on the shelf and huge. And Taylor, she was looking up at her like, oh, I've got to have that doll.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. I don't know. So do you feel that dolls, that some or entities can crawl into them because of their empty soul type?
I think CJ froze.
Or did we lose her?
I don't know. I see her, but I don't hear her. And she's not moving. So it like froze.
Yeah, she's like really froze.
She's solid.
Yep. She is. Yep. She's like ice.
Okay.
Oh, there she is.
There we go.
Oh, I was like, okay, should I talk? What should I do?
No, you were froze up. You're all good.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have heard that in history, a lot of times that's the case. That's what people thought, that dolls would, house souls of people that had passed on. And, I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. I think that, anything is possible. I mean, I do have a lot of dolls, and, I'll be sitting across the room and you can hear them go, ah, woo, and some of them they're not even supposed to have a voice type thing. So, I mean, I guess it could be, like you hear a cry or something.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. And like this one I got, it is, oh my gosh, it's an amazing doll. It's like 200 years older. It's a leather body. I've never even seen anything like it before. I was showing my husband, of course. I was like, look at this doll. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. And I held her, and then I picked her up, and she was like, wow. And that's the only time it has ever made a sound. But it was like, ow, don't hurt me. And he's like, okay, put that thing,
like
take it away. No, not human. Well, hey, I don't know for sure. Let's hope it's not human leather, but it's leather. It's crazy. And I've had the doll guy, my haunted dolls. I've had him on the show a couple times. And I mean, his dolls are, you want to go look at his YouTube and look at his dolls, because he even has some from the haunted doll place in Mexico, like the island, the haunted doll island.
Oh.
Yes, he has some in his house from that island. And I'm like, okay, I can't go that far, but, I was telling him about my dolls, and Yes. I mean, he has been in his living room, and you can hear, he's got a video and an audio of a kid crying in his house. He has no children. And this was right after he got one of those dolls from that island. And it is literally, it doesn't sound like a doll. It sounds like a child crying. And you can hear it so clearly. And finally he walks in and it just silent. And that one he keeps in his bedroom.
Oh, wow.
You're more brave than I am, because I couldn't have it in my bedroom right there, especially from that island. Because, all of those dolls are attached to someone who have actually passed, like tragically,
Yeah, because it was like they gave them to that child that drowned in memorial. And so what if that child's spirit is attached to that specific doll, and he brought her spirit home? No wonder she's crying. Now she's really lost.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a question, more of a statement in the chat room. Sherry's saying CJ should go to Island of the Dolls in Mexico. Are you up for that?
Heck yeah, I would love to go. I would love to go there. Absolutely. I will go anywhere. I'm telling you, I am not afraid of anything. I'm not.
I don't consider myself to be a chicken. I just don't want to, they may not be able to kill you, but they could take many bites and spit out. I wanted to get a giant Boo Bear, right? You know what a Boo Bear is.
Yeah.
Yep. So on Amazon, I ordered 5'3" bear to outfit with gadgets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We named it Simmy. What did it stand for again? Simmy. Oh gosh darn it. I can't remember what we named it after, the SIM. But anyway, so we had the doll. We get it. It's underfed. We had to do surgery. We had to put stuff in it to make him more of a big dude. Put equipment all over him and stuff. Had it in my house. Didn't think nothing of it. And one particular day, the cat decided to go behind him and get comfortable. And I didn't know she was there. And I was walking past, and all of a sudden I see his arm drop. And I'm like staring at it thinking, no. And then I looked around, nothing. And I started getting the willies. You know how you get that feeling no matter where you go in the house, even though they can't see you, you can feel that presence. And so I went back and I had a K2 meter. And just as I was putting the K2 meter down, the damn cat just jumped. And that was it. I lost it. And now Simmy has been simulated. Oh my God, why can't I remember? But anyway, now it sits over at one of our investigators' house.
I can't even have it at the house now. I've heard those bears, like when they talk, they are really creepy. Like when they repetitively say those little things, that is that's creepy to me. Like it wouldn't freak me out where I couldn't be in the room with it or anything like that, but they're pretty creepy on their own.
Yeah,
they are.
You're talking about the dolls or the Boo Bears?
The Boo Bear,
That's why I didn't want any voice box in it.
Oh yeah.
That's just dumb. I mean, next thing you know, you think it's an EVP, and it's not. It's that stupid bear.
Yeah.
You know, one of our guys or ladies had it on the team, and it was like, just reach in and grab that little voice box out. Just rip it out. You know, they're like, I spent over $100 on this. Well, you got duped. You know?
Yeah. For real.
But, okay, so dolls, you're really into them. Wow.
I'm into everything. Like I told you. Okay, I'll tell you, I'm so crazy about collecting insane things. Like I love true crime stuff. Like I told you, I started collecting Ed Gein. I just got and I know I'm going to get heckled or whatever for this, but I got the dirt from his house. And his grave. And his grave. I was like, that's kind of bad getting it from his grave, right? And I'm like, I like doing experiments, okay? I like to do different type things, like see if, okay, because let's see if you can actually communicate with their spirits just through this dirt. Let's just try it out and see. So I thought, I'm going to do it. So I did. I got dirt from his house, where his home place, where it was. And there is actually somebody, supposedly, I haven't even opened it yet because I wanted to do like a video to see if anything was coming up as soon as I opened it. There hasn't been any activity around the bag or anything yet, but I'm curious. But no, I like really crazy stuff, and I could definitely go to that island. I could do it. Dolls wouldn't bother me that bad. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not a scaredy. Well, at least I say I'm not a scaredy cat. Okay, if you put me in a situation where something comes flying up out of the ground that grabs me like a clown bleeding from the mouth, yeah, that would probably freak me out a little bit.
Oh my God, it's terrible. Now, I'm going to have nightmares tonight. Never done the show. So, like, what are you going to do with the dirt? So you're going to open the dirt up. You're going to cut yourself.
I don't really know.
I don't. See what happens?
I mean, I have a curio cabinet with all of my things. Like, I have a lot of stuff. I love New Orleans is one of my favorite cities. Like, I love New Orleans so much. So I have a ton of stuff that I have from there. It will end up going there, but I want to just see if even the dirt can hold any kind of residual energy from a place. Like, I want to test. I want to test it out and see. Just
that is really interesting.
Yeah.
To see.
I think it is too. I think it would be really interesting because, like with the documentaries, a lot of times they're saying that his items are so charged with this energy that he had. People are feeling it 30 years down the road, 40 years down the road. I mean, what is that, 60 years ago, 50 years ago, however long? But
1958,
Yeah, 1958. So, yeah, that's a long time. And, you think you've got this dirt where either he is buried or where he committed these crimes. How is it, is it still charged with that type of energy? And I heard that they were fixing to sell his farm. Or that it is for sale right now.
No,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's from what I understand from the documentary that I was watching, 1958, somebody burned it down.
Oh, yeah, the house is no longer there. Yeah,
right.
I know that the house isn't there, but the property itself.
Oh, yeah, somebody did buy up the property.
They did?
Yeah, they bought up the property. It was on Archer and 6th? Something like that. But he only killed 2 people. According to that, it was only 2 people. It was a woman that owned the hardware store, and there was another woman that...
it was, I think, a neighbor or like one of his mom's friends.
That's what it was, yeah. Yeah, and then he, all the rest were bodies he took out of the graves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's still
weird,
though, man. That's just
Cheating.
not right.
I'm sorry. If you're going to be a murderer, that's just kind of cheating. Yeah.
Oh, stop. What the heck? Oh, you're talking from somebody from...
cheating? Come on.
That's... Oh, God.
Being a grave robber? Come on. What kind of murderer are you?
Steve B. is asking, CJ, do you have nightmares at night?
Absolutely. Every night. Are you kidding me? Yes. Yeah, I do. I guess I've just got that kind of mind that that kind of stuff fascinates me. But yeah, I have dreams when I'm like telling my husband or my mom what they are, and they're like, "Oh gosh, not again, not again," because my nightmare or my dreams to them are nightmares, but to me they're dreams. To me they're perfectly normal. Like
right.
They're kind of crazy. Probably can't talk about them on air, but they get kind of far-fetced, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I do, and it's just something I've always had. So I guess I'm one of those weirdos that strange things like that just fascinate me, and I like to know more. When you experience paranormal stuff, like I have from a long, since I was very young. And, I was not raised to really talk about that sort of thing because I have this active imagination, which I did, but it was always something I knew was happening. I'm not a crazy person. I don't have schizophrenia or anything like that. You just get fascinated with everything when it comes to that. And you just feel like you need to know. So I'm like a student of all of this. I'll always be a student.
Right.
I always want to learn,
Right. Well, tell you what, we're going to go on break. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes with CJ Dunham. Be right back, folks.
Hey there. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a great new radio show on Para X. 2 hosts, 1 hour, and too much fun. Stephanie and Heidi not only talk about the latest goings-on in the supernatural worlds, they live it. They want to hear from you. They want to help you understand and guide you. And they want you to tune in. So, grab a friend or come alone to gather around that metaphysical table with Heidi and Stephanie. If you're interested in the worlds of the unseen, tune in to the Gathering Radio Show, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Para X Radio.
With Mother's Day fast approaching, what better way to celebrate than with Yo Mama beer? Your friends, neighbors, and even family members will be overjoyed when you give them the full-bodied richness of Yo Mama. Yo Mama is great for passing around at any gathering where people want to have fun. So this Mother's Day, ask everyone you meet to pop Yo Mama and let the good times roll. Yo Mama beer has been linked to certain mutations in mice. Please consult your doctor if you develop any strange side effects. Pop Yo Mama today.
If you're looking for a truly unique podcast experience, we have you covered. Spirit Bayou with CJ Dunham airs live from the Third Coast in Southeast Texas on Tuesday and Fridays at midnight Eastern Time, covering Creole folklore and folk magic to strange paranormal activity to new equipment for the field. CJ Dunham is a Catholic swamp witch, a devotee to our Mother Mary and the Trinity, a true believer in our Lord, the Holy Ghost, and Christ. Peace be with your spirit and the Spirit's Bayou.
And we're back. This is Jerry with The Calling, along with, of course, the one, the only Willow Le Machant. And again, poor Kimberly is not here tonight. Cinco de Mayo. She's going to have some fun. But our guest tonight is CJ Dunham. And just to let you know that, Para X, we've got tons of great shows here. Every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m., you have, and that's Central Standard Time, you have the Gathering, Ladies of the Gathering. They sit around. Last night was their paranormal smorgasbord. Awesome. One of their best shows they've done in a while, not a long time. You have Geeks Paranormal right after us. And our guest, CJ Dunham, her show is Spirit Bayou, which is on Monday and Friday nights, midnight and 11. Mm-hmm. Have some fun, listen to it, have a good time. Also, there's just tons of stuff. Just keep listening. You'll love it. And our show tomorrow will be on www.thecallingradioshow.com and also on our YouTube channel, The Calling Radio Show. Please subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so we are back, and we are talking all sorts of odd things with CJ. From her serial killer fetish to her doll fetish.
Yes.
God. I don't know. On break, I was telling her I have a friend that collects dirt also, too, from different places where there were serial killings going on, John Wayne Gacy and all those. And it's a crazy thing, but people really do it. I mean, I collected dirt from different ballparks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's normal. Mine's just full of DNA, spit like crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
I washed my hands.
The living is much worse than the dead, you know.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Steve's actually saying if she didn't have nightmares, I would wonder. Yeah, just don't dream you become a doll.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be bad.
Yeah. Definitely have, nightmares goes, I guess that's part of it. I'm like, oh man, I'll just get up. Another normal night for me, my crazy dreams.
I used to love nightmares when I was a kid. I mean, not when I was a kid. I was in my teen years and stuff like that. They didn't really bother me none. It was like little movies, But then when you get older, you're like, man, all I want to do is sleep.
Oh, yeah.
That's it, So, okay, so what is your thoughts on Bigfoot?
On Bigfoot. Well, Bigfoot is something that is, new to me to really learn about. I'll tell you, I love the outdoors, and I, of course, live in Texas. In Texas, we hunt. We're all raised to hunt around here. So, I've been hunting since I was very small, and I do have something weird that happens in the woods a couple of years ago, not long ago, with my son. When I took him hunting on youth weekend, we have youth weekends in Texas, and I have never seen anything. Okay. But when you're a child growing up in these areas, you can, you definitely learn the sounds of the woods. You learn the different animal sounds, the calls, if there's any hurt, you know what that is. Well, we were sitting there youth weekend. Gosh, I guess it was a couple years ago. And my stand is a fiberglass hunting stand. So we were honestly in our last 30 minutes sitting out there, and all of a sudden, I honestly don't even know the source of it. And I'm completely honest when I say the loudest yell I have ever heard in my entire life just shook the whole stand. It really did. Like, it was so loud, it vibrated the fiberglass. And I started laughing. My son was horrified. Like, he's like, oh, what's going on? It was just, it startled me so bad. But I started laughing. I guess it was a little nervous laugh, but I've never heard anything like that. It sounded like it was right behind us. And there was a clearing. I have windows all the way around. There was nothing there. I have no idea what it was, but it was animalistic and it was guttural. And I will tell you, in this area of Texas and on our hunting lease, there have been other people that have heard the exact same thing. And some even say they've seen it. There was a little boy that came up to our camp, and he told us that, hey, I saw a baby Bigfoot. And we just kind of laughed it off as a little kid. But no, right after that, he just said, no, I'm really serious. He kept coming and telling us and, over and over. And there's got to be something to it. There's too many people that have seen this. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting subject, to say the least. So, like I said, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy stuff that people would be like, yeah, that big girl's crazy right there, but she's crazy. But you would, anytime you experience anything like that, you feel crazy. You feel insane. It makes you feel like, oh my gosh, did I just see that? Your brain is not, made to program that sort of thing that's not natural. Your brain is just not able to operate that way. So that's the first reaction. That's a normal reaction, to feel like you're crazy, but you're not crazy. And, I would never discredit anyone who has seen something like that, because I know I have seen some messed up stuff. That sounds pretty crazy. Yeah.
Now you're a paranormal investigator too, right?
Well, yes, I have been doing that for a long time. I have, pretty much every house that I have lived in, I've always said, oh, every house I live in is haunted, but honestly, I don't think that that's the case. I think that now that I'm older, I'm kind of more aware, and I've made myself more knowledgeable on the subject. I feel like I'm just I never want to classify myself as, oh, I'm this, but I have always been able to have encounters with different type of spirits, energies, that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Wow. So what is the most bizarre thing paranormally that's ever happened to you?
Oh my gosh.
And marriage doesn't count.
Okay, no. Yeah. Okay. I will tell you. We currently live in a murder house, and we did not know it when we moved in here.
What do you mean, a murder house?
About 1930, in the 1930s, the people who originally lived in this house, the original owner of this house was murdered right outside my back door, like right outside my bedroom. And I didn't find this out till like a year and a half ago. Had no clue, no idea. When we moved in, I mean, I always told my husband, because, like I said, he's a big skeptic. He doesn't believe in this kind of stuff. But I told him, you're gonna start seeing weird things because, that's just how it happens when you're around me. People just start seeing stuff. No, I don't believe in that. He's raised Catholic. They don't believe that at all, period. Well, it took a few years, and then he finally came around because he's experienced some crazy stuff. This house that we live in, across the street, someone took their life. And that happened. It did happen a couple of weeks before we moved into the house, but we had already purchased the house. We didn't move into it till we got married. And I mean, like I said, I've always lived in homes that are associated with weird history. So that never bothered me. I mean, I knew I could make it a home, and I feel like it's a home. But because of the way this man was murdered, he was murdered with a pickaxe, which is unimaginable. First of all, when I first heard that, I'm like, excuse me, like, what did you say? He was murdered with a pickaxe right outside the back door. And
oh my God,
I know.
Wow.
Yes, this is the house I live in right now. So it is highly active. I mean, honestly, I could not it's the most active house I've ever lived in my entire life. It's crazy. I mean, I really don't know the most crazy thing that's happened because, well, I'll tell you one thing. Like I said, we got security cameras. We put them up, and I was actually asleep. I was sleeping so good one night, which is very rare for me. I don't sleep that well because of this. And most people that experience this don't get a lot of sleep at night. But I was sleeping really good. And my husband was like, wake up, wake up, wake up, And our alarm had gone off. I saw that the security light had came on right outside our window. And he's like, you have got to see this. So what he told me was a full body apparition had came into the room, stood at the foot of our bed, and it looked as if it was like, he explained it like water. You could see through it, but you know how ripply water looks? That's what he saw. And he said it just stood there looking at the bookshelf. And I was like, the bookshelf is right in front of you. Are you sure it wasn't looking at you? And he was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe, he didn't think of that, and of course that really freaked him out. But as soon as it happened, he was pushing me, and I was so tired. Like, I mean, I think it wanted him to see it and not me, because normally it would be waking me up. I would be the one experiencing this, not him. But as soon as he finally started waking me up, that's when like something went past the window next to our bed and outside by the security light, and it came on. So we pulled up our footage, and what we caught is just like this crazy, weird ball of energy that's blue and white, and it comes from our bedroom, like right outside where our carport is, and then it goes over the fence and into the backyard. That's pretty crazy.
That's cool.
It always happens here. And we constantly have problems with our security system. I constantly have problems when I'm recording my show. My son has been a guest host before. In between us, we have heard a growl, and I'm talking a disembodied growl right between us. And I cleanse this house all the time. Like, I have taught myself. I'm self-taught in all of this. This is nothing that I have been taught. I've taught myself because, where you're raised down here, it's a stigma. You can't have this unless you're crazy. Well, I'm not crazy. I'm actually a nurse. I put myself through nursing school to make sure that I didn't have any type of mental because you always think it makes you feel like you're crazy, when you see it. But as a kid, my friends would come over and they're like, oh, let's go to the haunted house. Well, it wasn't a haunted house. It was haunted candy. That's what it was. But I've just learned to live with it. But I mean, living here, it's like when you have this, it charges the whole place. So it's a constant thing I have to do is keep everything kind of neutral, because it's it's the most active house I've ever been in my entire life.
What are you using? What are you using for your clearing?
Mainly holy water. I sage a lot. Sometimes with rosemary, I grow my own rosemary and sage that way. Prayer, that's the biggest thing. I have a very strong faith, I mean, anytime, and that's something too that people think when you have this happen, like you don't have a Christian faith, and that's not true. I am a Catholic, and without my prayers, I feel that I couldn't ground myself. Right. So, I mean, that is something that I have really instilled in my children too, because like I said, this is something I've had since I was little. My son also has this since he has been small. So it's just something that I have thankfully learned to teach him to protect himself. And, we put up boundaries. This is my house, Right. I mean, you just get used to doing that. And so if you're empowered enough to do that and you've taught yourself to do that, maybe that's why I'm not really scared of that much because I've had to put up with such crazy mess. But, that's mainly what I do is it's my faith, it's my prayer, it's my faith in God. And as far as, cleansing the house, sage works best for me. And just setting boundaries.
I would suggest if you want to add a little bit something to it, to add some frankincense resin. Catholic Church uses it. But that's a really good one to get rid of negative entities.
Yes, I do have some of that. I'll tell you, the last time I was in New Orleans was in 2019 at Mardi Gras. And I really felt like this happened, this incident I'm telling you about happened right after that. And my husband, he had some crazy experience. We went to the haunted museum there at Bloody Mary's, and he had some weird stuff happen when we went to the apartment and all that,
Yeah, well, we'll have to talk.
Yeah. I was worried that he got some kind of attachment because he's a skeptic. He doesn't believe in it. So he doesn't think to protect himself, and he thinks I'm crazy whenever I'm over there walking on the walking barefoot on the grass and I'm saying my prayers. He never did that sort of thing because he didn't believe in it. And so I thought, oh my gosh, what if he brought something back? What if that's what's going on? But I decided after I went there, I loved all of the Catholic altars that I saw in the people's homes, where we went. And so I did one here. And that's where I have my frankincense and all of that. And we always have that going, especially with the quarantine. We've done, our masses here and have that going as well. So, yeah, we do. I do have that. I love the frankincense and the myrrh and all of that.
Yeah, because it does help. I use that in all my clearing work.
I will definitely make sure I don't run out of that for sure.
Yes, no.
Wow.
You can always tell if somebody has some sort of a really negative attachment. If you burn frankincense around them, they'll get very nauseous and very angry.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it has effect. I really feel that sometimes, when people come here, they don't know. I don't just go, oh, hey, by the way, you want to talk about the guy that was pickaxed? I don't talk about like that,
Right.
But you can definitely sense some people just are not compatible. And I don't know if it's because I have put so much blessed salt. That's something else that I do outside, you can tell if I'm even cleansing the house, like something is, they don't want to smell it, they don't want to be around it, or they just don't come in the house. They just won't come in,
Right.
which, I guess it's just one of those things, living where we live, but, I love my home, and it's everywhere I go, I'm going to have issues like that. So I don't plan on leaving. They're just going to have to get used to me. And I hope I don't wake up with a ghost pickaxe flying through my room anytime soon,
Well, just know that if you're a sensitive, you're like a lighthouse. Spirits are going to find you. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter where you go. If there's a spirit in the area, you are like a beacon of light.
Right.
And so they will come because they know you can see them. They know you can sense them where others can't. And they try to get our attention. So
that's true. That is so true. And, it took me so long to realize that because, people just didn't talk about that sort of thing in my family. And, I thought, well, maybe I am crazy. Maybe but every place I moved, this would happen. I'm like, okay, not all of these places are haunted. Maybe I really am crazy, but then what happens is it starts with me, and then the people that are living with me start having these same experiences, and see, I'm not talking about just a sound or a bump in the night. I'm talking about things moving from this side of the room to this side of the room, or your bed shaking,
yep.
All kinds of stuff. Like,
wow.
I really don't know what's the creepiest thing, because a doll turning its head looking at you would probably creep you out. And, to me, I feel like that probably happens all the time around, that's just like one of those things.
I would shoot it.
I just talk to them. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
No,
Good
shoot
morning.
it. 2 pops in the head and then go and burn a darn thing. So we have someone, here it is. Moofy's asking, what year was the axe murder on?
Oh, the axe murder happened, I think, in the 40s. I've researched the entire thing. I got on Ancestry.com, and they had the clipping. And, it's so crazy when you read about people getting murdered back in those days. They actually gave you really details as to how it happened. And it says a pickaxe in the paper. So I'll have to look at the paper clipping to actually verify that. But it's funny because it's a privately owned road, and this was the main house that has been built onto. But their great granddaughter lives at the end of the road, and she's the one that actually told me about it, because she had not been born yet when this murder took place, and it was a family argument is what happened. But it had to have been in the 40s, because sadly, right after that, his wife, there's also a railroad track not far from here at a crossroads, and she got hit by the train. Yeah.
Wow.
There's lots of tragedy. A couple of children have died here. It's sad. It's got a sad history. And when we first moved in too, my daughter, the one I was telling you about with the doll, she kept saying, oh, do you hear that baby crying? She kept coming. You hear it? I was like, baby, I don't hear a baby crying. Is it your doll? Because she always carried a doll. And all the time she would hear a baby cry. And there was actually a child, a little girl that did pass away, a baby that died in the house. So I don't know if she was hearing that or what, But,
it's weird that axe murders, they were done so, most of them were done so early in time, because you have the Villisca axe murders that happened in Iowa. There was 8 deaths there, 6 children, 2 adults, and it was done with a hatchet, and that was June 9th of 1912.
mm-hmm.
1940, right around that time and everything. That was the thing, and they were all on roads that, there was very few people around, and that's Lizzie Borden. When was Borden's?
She was the 1800s, wasn't it?
Was she 1800s?
I think it was early. Yeah. To think about the clothing, I'm thinking it was later 1800s.
Could be. I know that with, oh gosh darn it, luminol. They used luminol once. Yeah, on that. When back in 1948, a place that we investigated down in Clara City, Minnesota, and the guy killed himself in 1948 with a shotgun blast to the head. And when we were investigating it, I got some luminol and sprayed it around on the wall, and it was still, there was blood everywhere.
Oh,
it
man.
Lit up. It was just crazy.
It don't go away.
Yeah, no, it's not going to go away.
Yeah, even the Axeman, I just looked that up. It was May of 1918 to October of 1919. So it was really early, but isn't that weird? I guess, well, it was a silent weapon, right? It was
and you would think, a pickaxe too. I mean, I don't even know what they were using a pickaxe for here. Like, that's mainly what you use for, like looking for gold, right? Like, I couldn't even figure out what they had a pickaxe for unless it was just breaking up dirt for a garden or something like that, or mortar. I mean, but there's no brick. I mean, it was just a weird thing to get murdered with, but it was definitely a pickaxe. I mean,
right.
Sounds like it was just a weapon of convenience. It just happened to be
think it was just, laying around.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Kat's saying there's a theory that the perpetrator of most of the axe murderers either worked or stowed away on trains. And Moofy says there was a whole string of axe murderers in the early 1900s. That's true. That's definitely true.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's back when everybody had an axe. Now,
now they all have guns.
It's got a little
knives,
kick to it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Very crazy.
Yeah. So this is This hour's gone by.
I know.
Quick.
I was just looking. I mean, we're really just getting started.
That's true. Well, tell us when is your show on Para X, of course?
The show Spirit Bayou is on Mondays and Fridays at 11 p.m. Central Time, midnight Eastern. And I would encourage everyone to, add me to their social media. It's either CJ Dunham, or you can find me under Spirit Bayou or Candy Dunham. And on Instagram, it is Spirit_Bayou, or you can just email me at Spirit_Bayou@hotmail.com. Or I do have a Patreon too. I just started that, putting my old shows and all of that kind of stuff out. And I'm actually going to do my first documentary next week at a really awesome place. So y'all will have to stay. It's top secret, but I'm super, super excited. I've never done anything like that, but I feel like I'm going to go ahead and try something a little further than just the radio thing, and just see if I can do something a little more and do a documentary. I've had people tell me to do this forever, so I'm just going to do it for fun. I enjoy this aspect because I love talking to all of the the different teams. Like, I've had some great teams, like Paranormal Nightmare, Josh Foreman, the Foreman brothers. I love having them on the show. They're amazing. So I enjoy meeting the new teams that are coming out and trying to really get them out there, and then just doing my little crazy stuff for fun, because mine's kind of extreme, I guess. It's really, but a lot of them are trying to help families that are going through that. And I mean, I know what that's like for sure. I mean, being a kid and being scared out of my mind, and, having to teach yourself.
All right, so we're at the end of the show. Sorry, CJ.
That's okay.
I want to thank everybody for listening in. We appreciate it. Thank you, Para X. You rock. Sarge, the best darn producer that is just around. Great guy. Thank you very much for everything, everybody. And troops, if you're listening, everybody be safe. You're going to be home soon. And, hey, what can we say? Listen to CJ's show. Let's all have a good time. We'll see you all next week.